As we gear up for the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears are poised to make some serious noise, and they're not shying away from their strategic approach. The buzz surrounding the Bears is palpable, with speculation swirling about how they'll leverage their picks to not only bolster their roster, but also potentially shake up the draft landscape. Fans, where are you watching from? Share your thoughts. This is a pivotal moment for our beloved team. General Manager Ryan Poles has positioned the Bears in a unique spot, one where they can react to the draft board instead of being forced to chase after players. This flexibility is critical. It opens up a world of possibilities for the Bears, especially when considering the depth of their current roster and the multiple picks they hold. Poles has indicated that nothing is off the table come draft night, which is an exhilarating prospect for fans who've witnessed the team's struggles in recent years. In his own words, Poles stated, "I've got a ton of confidence things are going to work out just the way we planned them to be. If things start to shift and move, we're agile enough to make adjustments. If that's moving up, moving back, we'll be ready for anything that comes our way." This philosophy aligns perfectly with his previous draft strategies, where he has largely avoided forcing picks and instead capitalized on the value presented to him. It's a smart, calculated approach, and one that we need right now. The Bears enter this draft with 7 selections, including 4 within the top 90, and notably, the number 25 overall pick. This gives them both the chance to make immediate impacts and to build depth that could pay dividends down the line. We're in a fortunate situation. There's no glaring hole on the roster that screams for immediate attention, which allows Chicago to be proactive rather than reactive. However, the Bears do have pressing needs, particularly on defense with spots to fill at edge rusher and safety following key offseason departures. On offense, the left tackle and center positions are of concern, so there's work to be done. But with Caleb Williams firmly established as our quarterback, the focus now shifts to building an environment around him that maximizes his potential and protects our investment. It's not about flashy skill position moves. It's about creating a cohesive unit that can contend. Poles' historical tendency to trade down for extra picks could play a significant role here, especially if the draft board presents him with a scenario where multiple players have similar grades. More picks mean more opportunities to find talent. Yet, with added second-round capital and a roster capable of competing, the Bears also have the option to move up if a premium target becomes available. This dual strategy is a testament to how far this organization has come under Poles' leadership. Ultimately, how the draft unfolds will dictate Chicago's strategy. If a player aligns with their needs at number 25, they could stay put and make a solid pick. If the board doesn't favor them, they're one of the teams best equipped to reshape the draft around themselves, a scenario that Poles has hinted at and one that fans should be excited about. As we dive deeper into this draft season, the anticipation is building, and so are the possibilities for the Bears. What moves do you want to see? Let's keep the conversation going as we transition to our next news item. In the wake of another unpredictable draft, Chicago Bears fans are left buzzing about the team's bold decisions. General Manager Ryan Poles has made it clear that he's not afraid to shake things up, evidenced by the selection of Colston Loveland, a tight end from the University of Michigan, with the 10th overall pick. A head-scratcher for some, considering the Bears already boast a solid starter in Cole Kmet. But this move is a statement, an indication that the Bears are not simply filling needs, but instead prioritizing talent and versatility. Then, in a move that raised eyebrows even further, the Bears used their first pick in the second round to grab Luther Burden III at 39th overall. This isn't just a gamble. It's a clear message that the Bears are committed to building a formidable offense. The draft board in Chicago's war room must look very different from what fans are envisioning, as Poles and his team appear ready to think outside the box. With Poles committing to drafting the best player available, one has to wonder what their strategy will look like heading into the 2025 NFL Draft. The landscape is shifting, and as fans, we need to keep our eyes peeled for potential surprises. Now, let's dive into some predictions for how the Bears might navigate their upcoming picks. Sitting at pick 25, the Bears find themselves in a prime position where other teams could be eager to trade up. If Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson remains on the board, expect the Jets at 33 and the Cardinals at 34 to come knocking. This is a strategic moment for Chicago, as they could leverage their position to stockpile additional picks. The Bills are at 26, and the Jets might want to jump ahead, especially if they think Arizona could be eyeing a trade with Buffalo, given the 49ers' intention to move down from their 27th pick. But it's not just quarterbacks drawing interest. With the free agent market seeing even slightly above average receivers commanding attention, teams like the Titans at 35 or the Raiders at 36 may want to leap into the first round for a pass catcher. The allure of a fifth-year option is powerful, and the Bears could be looking at a feeding frenzy for talent that could reshape the receiving core. Now, while many are clamoring for Chicago to bolster its secondary with their first pick, let's not dismiss the boldness of selecting a cornerback instead. Tennessee's Jermyn McCoy and Colton Hood could both be solid options if they remain available at the top of the second round. McCoy's injury history might push him down the board, but he possesses the talent to be a game-changer. Other names like Chris Johnson from San Diego State and South Carolina's Brandon Cisse could also emerge as logical selections, especially if the Bears opt to trade down beforehand. If Chicago does decide to move down, we could see them acquire additional Day 2 draft capital, which they might use to address the receiver position in the second round. Yes, it might not sit well with fans if they opt for a cornerback first and then choose a receiver at 57, but let's not forget that they have another pick just 3 selections later. The depth in this year's receiver class is promising, and adding speed to the offense is crucial. The Bears recently hosted Ole Miss receiver Dazon Stribling, who could be a steal in the third round. Other names to consider include Chris Bell from Connecticut, Chris Brazzell II from Tennessee, and North Dakota State's Bryce Lance. These players could inject much-needed speed and flexibility into the Bears' passing attack. For those concerned about prioritizing the receiver and cornerback positions, fear not. If Grayson Halton is still on the board late in the second round, he could be a perfect fit for defensive coordinator Dennis Allen's scheme. Halton stands out as one of the best interior disruptors in this draft class, and he could solidify the Bears' defensive line. Even if they miss out on Halton, it would be shocking if they didn't address the defensive tackle position within the first 3 rounds. That said, the depth of talent at defensive tackle this year leaves much to be desired. The questions surrounding the prospects available in the 3rd and 4th rounds loom large. However, a few athletic prospects are flying under the radar. With 2 7th-round picks, the Bears may take a calculated risk on players like Landon Robinson, Zane Durant, David Gusta, or Antonio Thompson, all of whom possess the physical attributes that could translate into success at the next level. As we watch the draft unfold, the excitement surrounding the Chicago Bears continues to build. What will Poles and his team do next? Where are you watching from, Bears fans? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The anticipation is palpable as we look forward to the next segment. As we dive deeper into the latest developments surrounding the Chicago Bears' potential move to Arlington Heights, there's a significant breakthrough that could alter the landscape of our beloved franchise. The Illinois House of Representatives has voted favorably on the mega projects bill, which sets the stage for the stadium project to move forward. But the question remains, will this be a help or a hindrance for the Bears? With a decisive vote of 78 to 32, the bill now heads to the state Senate. However, let's not gloss over the fact that the version that passed has undergone modifications compared to the original draft. The implications of these changes could be pivotal. The Bears must scrutinize how these alterations will impact the overall project, especially since many of the adjustments pertain to broader fiscal policies rather than the stadium itself. Interestingly, the new bill proposes to allocate a significant portion of what the Bears currently pay local governments toward property tax rebates for homeowners. This raises a crucial concern. Will local taxing districts be willing to give up their share of tax revenue, which could potentially stall the project? The Bears have long sought infrastructure support and tax stability as they navigate this complex landscape. They aim for a tax structure that aligns more closely with what other Chicago sports teams experience, which shouldn't be too much to ask given their storied history in the Windy City. It's important to note that any reluctance on behalf of local governments could lead to a standoff that neither side wants. The Bears are looking for negotiated rates that would enable them to thrive in their new home, but the current environment is one of uncertainty. With Indiana already rolling out the red carpet for the Bears, complete with land ready for development and a lucrative offer to run a stadium without the burden of taxes, it's no wonder that the Bears are weighing their options very carefully. The opposition to the Bears' potential relocation to Arlington Heights is palpable, as articulated by Illinois State Representative LaShawn Ford. He emphasizes the need to protect Chicago while also considering the broader implications for the state. This sentiment is echoed by many fans and stakeholders who fear losing one of the NFL's most iconic franchises. The emotional connection to Soldier Field runs deep, and the thought of the Bears packing up and leaving is a bitter pill to swallow for longtime supporters. What's more, as negotiations heat up, it's crucial to remember that the Bears have a lease remaining at Soldier Field. Should they decide to leave, they might face financial consequences similar to those experienced by the Cleveland Browns when they relocated. The expectation is that the Bears may have to navigate complex legal waters before they can truly call a new stadium home. Meanwhile, the Bears' leadership has been proactive, as reports indicate that team owner George McCaskey and President Kevin Warren have already engaged with Indiana officials. The groundwork is laid out for a new stadium in Hammond, and the Bears appear to be leaning toward a swift decision. The allure of a sprawling facility that could host massive tailgating events and a vibrant Chicago sports museum is enticing. But will it be enough to convince the team to abandon their Chicago roots? With a looming deadline for legislative action and a virtual meeting scheduled with the NFL Stadium Committee, the pressure is mounting. The Bears must decide quickly, as waiting until late May could jeopardize their plans. The state of Illinois has an opportunity to demonstrate its commitment to retaining the Bears, a franchise that has been part of the fabric of this state since 1919. As we close this chapter of the Bears saga, it's clear that the stakes have never been higher. Fans, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts on this potential move? Your opinions matter now more than ever as we navigate this uncertain landscape together. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your insights about the Chicago Bears in the comments below. This is a pivotal moment for our team, and your voices will help shape the narrative moving forward.